How does Microsoft buying Pinterest affect marketers and businesses as a whole? This is the question I'm going to be asking today. If you like these videos, don't forget to press the subscribe button below and leave a like button as well. It just helps, obviously, more people see the video. So anyway, back to that main question. How does Microsoft buying Pinterest affect marketers and businesses in general? So Microsoft seems to be hell bent on acquiring another social media platform. It obviously already has LinkedIn in there, but starting last year, it very much was heavily pursuing the US operation of TikTok, and that obviously failed when its cloud computing rival Oracle gate crashed the talks. Obviously, that was all brought about after the Trump administration raised national security concerns about obviously the data that was being collected by TikTok. So despite being rebuffed in those attempts to obviously buy TikTok, Microsoft is still heavily considering more acquisitions, and is heavily considering an acquisition of another social media platform. And this has led to reports of a potential $51 billion purchase of Pinterest over the last few months. So Microsoft has been obviously pursuing this acquisition strategy and has been amassing a huge portfolio of active online communities that, simply put, will run on its cloud computing platform. And despite a number of hurdles, it appears that Pinterest is being strongly considered as one of these potential targets. These hurdles include Pinterest's market value, and the platform having previously stated that it desires to remain an independent company and not be tied to a bigger organization. So Pinterest's market value is currently about 3% of Microsoft's $1.83 trillion market cap. It has seen massive growth over the kind of the last year or so, somewhere in the region of about 600%. But it would represent the largest deal in Microsoft's history. And whilst Microsoft mainly sells to businesses and governments rather than consumers, this is why it's been able to avoid most of that political backlash that has made it more difficult for Facebook and Google, kind of the big headline names, to make big acquisitions over the last couple of years. So really, why does Microsoft want Pinterest? So as I've mentioned before, in recent years, Microsoft has moved to expand its portfolio to really limit its reliance on selling to other businesses, obviously with its software packages and going down that route. So besides buying obviously LinkedIn for 26 billion 5 years ago now, it's recently acquired GitHub, which is a code repository that doubles as a social network for software developers, and Minecraft, which is an online game that last year passed 131 million users. And then last year in 2020, it also acquired the private gaming company ZeniMax for 7.5 billion. So by acquiring Pinterest, it would give Microsoft a huge kind of jewel for its crown, as well as having the added bonus that it would be stealing a customer away from Amazon Web Services, which is a massive competitor for Microsoft Azure in the cloud computing space. So this benefits and the data that Pinterest would provide Microsoft would be similar to how they currently use LinkedIn. With they both have a large number of active users. Many of those users post frequently, and they can inform Microsoft's apps and services by very much in targeting what people are interested in, and would also provide an important source of data going forwards for customers of Microsoft's marketing services, whilst also acting as just straight up raw material for training the company's artificial intelligence systems. So that kind of pandemic based surge that I mentioned earlier has really It's really boosted Pinterest, and it's really made steps to kind of make the most of it as well. It's broadened its advertising base, introduced new ad formats, and as well as obviously e-commerce opportunities that kind of bring it in line with some of the similar developments that rivals Facebook and TikTok have made during obviously the same period. And again, because of the nature of what its content is, where it's a lot of user generated content and stationary content and things like that, Pinterest has largely avoided the sort of scrutiny that that Facebook, that Twitter, that Instagram have had over the last few months, legally and kind of morally, simply because you don't really see as many comments on a Pinterest pin as you would on a Facebook post, and so they've been able to avoid most scrutiny through that. So what does this all really mean for marketers and businesses? So with Pinterest placing more interest in advertising and e-commerce opportunities, there's a huge scope for data that marketers can begin to make use of. And when this is really combined with the potential that LinkedIn has as well, marketers and businesses alike will begin to see huge opportunities to advertise to both personal and professional interests of their audiences across obviously both platforms. Obviously, this is dependent on whether they manage to persuade Pinterest to simply give up on their pledge of independence and become part of a larger entity. So, if you like these videos, don't forget to press the subscribe button. Don't forget to press the notification bell as well. And just give this video a like while you're down there. Also, do you think Pinterest would be a good buy for Microsoft or not? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to reply as well. Hopefully I'll see you next time. I'll see you soon. Bye.